What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Avid Cat, a show where I talk about movies and television and whatnot. Anyway, thank you so much for already watching this. You know you're gonna like it. Subscribe. Hey, there you go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Avid Cat Studios. I'm your host, Sir Stormchild. A night in the fight against boredom, and this is Avid Cat. Meow. Close enough, Carl. uh So Stargate. This is a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's called Nightwalkers. Directed by Peter DeLuise and written by I have no idea. Um, it's in the sixth season where Daniel Jackson has been ascended. He the reason he died was he tried to stop this nuclear reaction going on. They were messing with like elements they didn't know. It was like Nakua and Aquadria, and they accidentally made this radioactive thing, and then he saves them, and in doing so, he dies. But then Oma Desala shows up and then helps him on the path to ascension. Does that sentence mean anything to you? If it does, hi, how you doing? Oma Desala, like the ancients became pure beings of light. She's one of them. And also, she's not supposed to do that because you're supposed to get there on your own. But she's like, some people need help. It's fine. Although she accidentally does it to somebody, and they become a main antagonist in the series. But this episode, it's episode 5 in season 6, so they're still not trusting Jonas, who is Corin Nemec's character. He's very smart. He's quick-witted. He's very eager to learn things. There was one time I think like they got into a spaceship and they're like, "Well, why are you smiling?" He's like, "I've never been in space, man." And he's super stoked about everything. He's very knowledgeable. He tries not to be overly, annoying because he's like, yeah, I notice more than you do because like just how their systems are function in his home planet, who he got banned from coming back to, but he goes back to it a few episodes later, and boy, there's a whole other level of fallout to that one. This is about an idyllic town. Idyllic. It's a stupid one with a Y in it. Um, they harbor a secret. Oh no, what's that? What's the secret? Was it a giant spaceship that they're building? Kinda. But the whole thing starts off with this scientist who once worked for Adrian Conrad, or still works with Adrian Conrad, at least his company. He's another dude he was a rich guy who he was dying, so he wanted a way to become better, and he heard that the Goa'uld symbiotes will do that if you use them the right way. And he's technically not wrong, but in a symbiote they take over your body, like it's their personality now. Like you don't exist. You're in there, but you're screaming through thick walls, and you can't be heard, and it doesn't give a shit. But so that guy was working for them. They go to this town. They're like, hey, everybody seems fine. We don't get any like weird vibes from them. I mean, you get kind of weird vibes because like the scientist ends up missing, and then they're like, well, the sheriff is trying to be as helpful as possible. He's like, there hasn't been a murder here in like 8 years, but I think something's off. And they go to the scientist's house, and he worked for this company called Immunitech, which is kind of stupid, but it works. He has a package sent to himself, like Indiana Jones. I think in the Last Crusade, where he sends the book, and then it comes back to him later on. He does that with this syringe full of, I don't know, at least at this point in the story. They found like a bunch of amphetamines because he was trying not to sleep, and everybody in this town acts really fucking weird at night. So they get when they search the guy's computer. There's not really much on it. They finally get some files from the sheriff, who's again trying to be as helpful as possible. He gives them this whole bunch of stuff, and it turns out there's like a little computer or a disk or something. There's a file that's encrypted, and it turns out, spoiler alert, to be Goa'uld. So what they eventually figure out is the guy wasn't the scientist was cloning a bunch of little baby Goa'ulds, and they infected this town. Essentially, they had um, they're immature, so they can't take over full time. So when you're conscious and you're awake during the day, you're fine. You're you, and then when you go to bed, you think you're asleep, but the thing wakes up, and all Goa'uld have the genetic memory of their predecessors. And as soon as they latch into you, they know everything about you. Um, Carter was she got jumped into. It was Jolinar of Malkshire, I think was her name. Who was like Martouf. Martouf. Oh, oh man, the Martouf storyline is just sad. You don't know what I'm talking about? Don't worry. I'm just gonna say words and they're gonna sound silly. Um, so again, this is another one to Peter DeLuise. There's really good tension in this, like like in The Thing. Um, there's really tight tension. You don't know whose side's on whose side. You're kind of left ambiguous until like right up until the end. I mean, it has more of an absolute like answer than The Thing does, but duh. This guy, he was a security guard who actually got out before there was a huge fire that burned down Immunotech that like wiped all the other files that they didn't have previously. They go to this shipyard and they're building this ship. And like the townspeople don't know that they're doing it. They get into like bar altercations or almost into altercations. Nobody like in the daytime. There's like I don't know. Are you? I'm just tired. That's all I know. And eventually they kidnap all of them, and then you find out like the NID like knows that this is going on, so they didn't start it, but they're taking advantage of it, and they're like, we're gonna get the this spaceship, and it's going to be like the first line of defense for humanity, and like we're going to do better than you do down at Stargate Command and whatnot. You're like, dude, we just got out of this whole thing where Anubis was like beaming into our Stargate and it was overloading it, and then we had to send it into space and it exploded, and we had to buy the other space and the other Stargate from the Russians, even though it was technically in Antarctica, but they got it somehow, and then they tried to use it at the same time and ended up this weird like water world that tried to kill everybody. The show's weird. The show's great. The show is bizarre and fun. Again, there's no guns in this one. Like as many like episodes that there are guns, or at least gunfire and shooting and whatnot, there's usually guns pointed at each other. But like unless somebody actually needs to get like capped off, they try to go like the stun route with the Zat guns, or Zat Nicotel or whatever. This is all the NID dudes trying to shut down everything, and one of them is like actually a host to a Goa'uld, and then the others get kidnapped, and Carter gets implanted, but she takes this syringe right before she gets kidnapped, and it turns out there's like a protein marker, which is it comes over again and again, especially with like Machello and all that stuff later on. But everybody in this is, you know, it's very well acted. Korenev is really engaging in this, whereas like some other people are like, well, I'm replacing another character. He doesn't want to feel like he's replacing another character. That's part of his character, and that's fucking charming as shit. Like, I don't really want to impose, but also I'm fucking amazing. He eventually, I think, goes back to his home planet, tries to settle the sides between the two, and then I think, oh yeah, then he comes back in another episode where he fell in love with a girl who turns out to be Goa'uld, who also wants to like help him build this giant machine that's a big drill that drills into the middle of the planet so they can like actually stop this explosion from like happening when it gets like they accidentally blow up a bomb, and then it's like it sets off this chain reaction of like mine stuff underground, and then they're trying to do that. It's basically kind of like the movie Core but better. That movie's not very good. but like, you know, like drilling into the earth kind of shit. And it's really interesting, and he's good, and he's got his long hair again. I don't know. But and then Daniel Jackson comes back here and there. Jack O'Neill is not in this episode. He is because due to the events of the previous couple episodes, the beginning of the season, he gets injured or sick. I can't remember which one. Look it up. Go watch the show. And they implant him with a Tok'ra symbiote to help him along, and then that comes in repercussions later, which will be revealed. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes on missions that he doesn't really know, and then like he, you know, one of those kind of things. If I can remember what that episode is, it's cool. So that is Nightwalkers. I'm pretty sure I explained everything, but it's really good. I mean, like this show, it's got a good atmosphere. It's got good music. Some of it's like, "Oh, boo-doo, boo-doo." But I think that's kind of intentional. Depending on like the scenes, they know exactly what they're doing. They had a big budget, and they lasted, you know, 8 seasons. Then they started up the other series, and then that went for 5 seasons, and then about the second or third season they brought back the first series. And then after all that was done, they tried Stargate Universe. I think it only lasted for 2 seasons. I didn't, again, I'll try it again if I ever get around to it. So what's your favorite one? What have you ever watched? Have you ever seen this series? Am I just a crazy person talking about an episode I probably just watched or I watched 3 days ago? And I'm trying to remember it while paying attention to the clock and being like, hey, can I shut up now? I really do like this series. It's really fun. There's some that like really get you in the heartstrings. Some of them are just kind of because they're tropey. Some of them like are real fucking head scratchers. There's one later on, like especially when Jonas goes back to his home planet, and then like his doctor friend, his professor, is starting to go a little crazy. And is he seeing other people? Is there a revolution actually happening? You don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe both. That one gets kind of trippy, and it's also the guy from Quantum Leap, not Dr. Sam Beckett, the other guy who like is in the future time. You know what I'm talking about, the guy with the big computer. I'm rambling. This is Stargate, not Quantum Leap. That'll probably happen later because there's some really good episodes in that. Thanks so much for watching. Please have a great day. Go enjoy yourself, and I will see you beautiful motherfuckers in the next one. All right? Seriously. Stay safe. Do the thing. Go watch Stargate. Or Elden Ring. I'm going to do that. Later. Boy, you sound out of breath. Nah, I'm good. Meow. You stay out of my yogurt, too.